As a gaming critic, or perhaps more aptly, a critic who also focuses on the industry and the practices within, I'm often met with a response to my arguments that I'm just an entitled gamer, that I expect too much, and that I just need to be quiet and be happy with what I get. I have never understood this argument since the day that I started making YouTube videos. Let me give you some background though. I am not one of those people who thinks you're entitled to everything. I don't think you're entitled to money or a job or income by virtue of your existence. I don't think that you're entitled to good feelings or feeling happy or something like that. Most things in life, I believe that you need to earn, that you don't deserve by virtue of the fact that you exist because 7 billion other people exist. And in the grand scheme of life, no one individual is that special. You gotta work for what you want. But when it comes to consumer transactions, I completely flip on that. I am the opposite of that. You want to know the reason why? Well, I think it should be self-explanatory, but I will explain it anyway. It has to do with what binds all of this together, what binds consumer transactions, commerce, trade, work, and that's money. In the way that I see it, as soon as money comes into play, that's when the argument of entitlement becomes far, far, far less relevant. And only in explicitly strict circumstances do I believe that the argument of entitled can be applied, which we'll address later. But the way that I see it is that once money comes into play, you're not entitled, because the concept of entitlement is born out of getting things for free, getting things by virtue of the fact that you're there, or by your privilege, or something like that, as opposed to paying for a product, which is where you've worked for money, or got given it free, and have now given it to someone for a product in exchange. There's nothing entitled about paying for something and expecting to get something in return, as opposed to existing and expecting something on your birthday. The way that I see it is that if I'm paying money for a product and I want to get something out of that product, I want to get value for the money that I work to get, and I'm spending it on this product as opposed to a bunch of other products, it is not my responsibility to find value out of that product. It is the responsibility of the creator of that product to give me the value, to show me what the value is. And if they don't show me that value, I don't need to spend the money on that product. But that does not negate me from providing them with feedback on what they can do, as opposed to demanding something for free. Do you see the big difference there? For example, if you go to a car dealership and you drop $20,000 on a car, you would like to expect certain things. Not just that the car will work, but you want to expect those additional features. You want to expect, some fancy stuff if you're spending a lot more money, which you do on a car as opposed to like a sandwich or something. And if you don't get that, and if you don't get that support, and if you meet them and say, hey, certain things aren't here that I was expecting that you told me would be there, certain things don't work in my car, certain things are missing, and then they came back to you and said, you're just entitled, and everybody else on the lot said, yeah, just shut up. You'd be a little bit pissed off, wouldn't you? Now, obviously, there's a bit of a difference between your car not working in a video game, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing in terms of what you're buying. You're buying something that doesn't work. This is why I've never understood the argument as well of just be patient, wait for the game to work. No, if I've spent money on a product, it should work as soon as I use it. This is, again, a situation where gamers forget that a video game is a product. The developers themselves may be working on something that they love. They may be creating something, crafting a story, creating a game that they're really passionate for, but they're still selling it to you. At the end of the day, all art that is being sold is still a product. That is undeniable. So to ignore that element of something being a product that you paid your money for and excusing that something may be broken or not working, I don't get that. Expecting the game to be 100% balanced, that's a little bit of a different matter. That's wishy-washy, as opposed to the game working. Nothing entitled about expecting what you paid for to work. And I don't get why these people band against the fellow gamer. The way that you should see it, it is that the gamers should be sticking together and fighting for each other, fighting for the better product, fighting for the better game. And that even means things like expecting the game to have more content than it does, expecting the game to have maybe a better story than it does. Now, demanding that a game change its creative vision entirely just to benefit you, I would say that's a bit entitled. Expecting things to be cut from the game entirely simply because you don't like it, yeah, that's entitled, as we've seen in these cases where social justice warriors have demanded that things be changed from their creative vision just to satisfy them. That is entitled. But expecting the game to work, expecting at least a decent amount of content in the game, expecting it to be fun, I don't see these as entitled things, especially when you are showing that you want to play the game, as opposed to the social justice people who have no interest in playing the game. As gamers who have some sort of investment in these titles, I think it's not unfair to say that our criticism matters, and then to say that it's entitled for expressing that criticism. I just don't get it. I don't understand how anybody could sit there and think that that's rational. I just don't understand this. Why it's become to the point now that it's socially acceptable within gaming circles to shut down an argument by just saying you're entitled, as if that negates all of the things that you may have said about the game not working, about things being cut from the game. Is it really that irrational for me to be frustrated when I'm watching a trailer for a game and thinking, wow, that looks cool, when I get to the end and go, as soon as the announcer says, pre-order now and get the special edition super combo pack with new skins and a mission, and remember to get their super awesome collector's edition, which comes with a statue and also some other free DLC. Oh, wait, that's right, it's free because we cut it out of the game, but make sure to pre-order now! Like, oh yeah, I'm such a dickhead for getting pissed off when I hear that, because I would like to just go to the store, pay my money, and get the full game. Such an entitled gamer, right? Let me just break it down really simply. The way I see it, and the way that I think you should look at it, is the money aspect of it. When you spend money on a product, at that stage, I think the idea of entitlement becomes greatly reduced by virtue of the fact that you are spending money that you worked hard on to give to somebody else for something that they made, and are giving to you for that money as compensation. You are not getting something for free, in which case, yeah, be quiet and be happy with what you get. You're spending money on a product, and you should expect to get your money's worth out of that product. And if you come into that not wanting to get the most money out of your product, you have a very unhealthy consumer mindset. You have a consumer mindset that opens you up to exploitation and manipulation, as we can see with gamers getting angry at other gamers, ergo other consumers like them, for expecting what they want to get out of their money. All I gotta say is, just put your head out of your ass, stick it back on your shoulders, and think about what you're spending your money on, and think about whether or not it's giving you the value that you are entitled to when you spend money on something.